Are you here? Hey, welcome. It's the Paul Leslie Hour with a review of the final night of Tucker Carlson Live Tour 2024 with special guest Donald Trump Jr. So what do you think, Paulie? What might you say?
So this is a new chapter for the American ambassador of truth, who for so long was the leading alternative voice on television. Now a completely independent media creator, Tucker Carlson is no longer shackled by any media corporation. September 28th was the conclusion of night after night of fruitful conversations Tucker had across America the Beautiful. Tucker was my reason for being in Jacksonville, Florida, and thanks to the loving kindness of a generous soul who helped make it possible, I quickly ate up my fast food supper from Jollibee, a Filipino chain, a little pre-show happiness before heading to the ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Jason Hewitt, a great comedic and musical talent, was the perfect opener, who ended his mostly irreverent set with some reverence, a modern patriotic anthem, and everyone joined in. Several other personalities took the stage, and the encouragement to introduce yourself to the strangers seated near you created a warm, intimate environment for a 15,000-seat venue. Then the man of the hour appeared. For most people, me included, it would be the first time to see Tucker Carlson in the flesh. He may be a humble guy, but that doesn't mean he isn't beloved and larger than life. Standing at the lectern, he reminisced about his journey traveling across the USA to stand on stage with a mind-blowing roster of great patriots and thinkers. Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, Larry Elder, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Glenn Beck, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tulsi Gabbard, and others. Carlson talked about the tumultuous saga of the last 4 years. The legacy media and the establishment sowed division at every opportunity, and in many ways succeeded. While this elite cadre attempted to rip America apart at the seams, Carlson earnestly and soulfully focused instead on another tale. He reflected on the incredible love he felt and witnessed between the people of this country. He mostly wasn't referring to the love that came his way, but more of what his journalist's eyes observed. The last few years haven't been without victories. In spite of everything, many have reported feeling a closeness of family and community that hadn't existed. Other people are no longer asleep to many of the grim realities. The night certainly had its share of humor. Tucker giddily mentioned how much fun it was watching the left get excited about having Dick Cheney on their side, adding that we'd be happy to throw in his creepy daughter, too. You know how you can tell someone is wrong? If they list Dick Cheney as an asset, who would have been able to predict that one? Tucker tied it all together. He contends that it's not necessarily about the powers that be being anti-Republican or anti-American. What's most concerning is how it always comes down to them being unabashedly anti-human. The end goal of each of their plans always amounts to undermining human flourishing, and that's not an exaggeration. Don't have children is the biggest message in that camp. The beginning with just Tucker on the stage reminded me of the opening monologues from his TV days. As a speaker, Tucker Carlson is second to none. That alone would be worth the ticket. But then Tucker announced his special guest Donald Trump Jr., saying that he's not one of, he is the most intelligent political mind around. Tucker mentioned that when you're in the media, you meet everyone. So often the person the world knows is nothing like the one you meet, while sometimes they're exactly like the persona. Tucker noted that Donald Trump Jr. is nothing like the unfair characterization that the media and Twitter activists say he is. Not surprising when it's occurred to me that the more an individual is condemned by that faction, the more that person is a threat to their power. Donald Trump Jr. joined Tucker on stage, each taking an armchair. These two perfectly complemented each other as communicators, and it occurred to me that Trump Jr. is not just sharp but quick. It's quite a thing to have a name like Donald Trump Jr. You're forever being judged or pigeonholed just because of your name. It was something I pondered whenever I spoke with Frank Sinatra Jr. But you've got to be you, to paraphrase an old song. Donald Trump Jr. doesn't worry about any of that. He just does his thing. The two spoke for more than an hour, and Trump shared that the fight for America isn't just about beating Kamala Harris. the fakest person to run for president ever, and running mate Tim Walz, a guy who should get his T levels checked. The land of the free won't stay that way unless good people stay awake and motivated. If you didn't make it to Jacksonville and would like to listen to Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump Jr. in conversation, you can hear it at no cost on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or watch on YouTube. I recommend you do. With the event over, the vibe in the crowd was palpable, a very high energy. Many people didn't want to leave and spoke to one another outside or hit the bar next door. I started to write this review before heading back. It's my wish that this is not Tucker Carlson's last live tour. It's an interesting thing. Certainly someone could watch or listen to the recordings of Tucker's evenings for free at home, but there's something you just can't get from streaming on your phone. There's nothing like being there and connecting with other people. It was a great idea for Tucker to do this, and I think these events have created a demand. If you ever get a chance to see Tucker live, you won't regret it. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.